Check, check, mic check.
Hey guys.
Hello.
What's behind us?
It's a grid, it's a mark out that we did in blue tape to get our minds right.
Accent wall.
Yes, we're gonna show you how to cut the wood, how to measure the space out, how to adhere everything to the wall, nailing it, caulking it, priming it, painting it. It'll probably look so good that you'll go, why even use a headboard for your bed? Huh?
But you'll probably want one anyways.
Exactly. You'll watch us through the whole process, through sweat and tears. Blood, sweat, and tears. I guarantee you that's what it's gonna be.
Okay, thanks.
We finally made it over to the trim aisle. Here I'm looking at some pre-primed trim. It's a little bit more expensive per foot, so you don't have to prime it before you paint it. There Chloe goes, over to the stain grade woods. These are more expensive because they're meant to be stained and not have any imperfections. Now over to the wood we used. This is what some would call a number 2 wood. You'll see a lot of knots in it, and as long as you're fine with that kind of knot and that kind of look that's going to be painted and primed over, everything should be fine. We were able to cut it in half and get our cost down to about 40 cents per foot. When purchasing your wood for your project, remember the longest part of your project and get the corresponding piece of wood so you won't have to make as many cuts.
The blue lines were set up, first of all, for us to get a feel of what we wanted the design to look like. You could take a picture of it and draw it on your phone, but it really doesn't show until you have it on the wall. That's why we wasted the time taping. And
Well, I'm a visual person.
she's visual. The other lady that works with us is visual too, your mom. So that's why we did that. We've got to do a frame around it. We've got to put up all the regular pieces. We're going to show you how to glue it, how to screw it, how to nail it, then kind of a final.
Make it pretty.
Make it pretty. Follow us, have some fun.
Typically, if I was going to start this job, I would tell you, hey, go get a bunch of 1x2s because that's what they have. We're like money crunchers, so we don't like spending a lot. So we try to do it the cheapest way possible, but still getting a great outcome. This is a 1x4, and you'll notice we aren't going to make 1x4s out of the wall thing. We're going to cut this down so we have 2 1x2s. That'll allow us to make our look exactly like we want it, but we don't have to buy as much wood. We don't have to get something that's already primed and a little more expensive. We can prime it ourselves, get it done, and be a little bit cheaper on our costs. So I told you we were using 1x4s. and we're ripping them down into a 1x2. So we got two 1x2s. These are 12 footers, and it just works more economically for us to buy this, spend a little bit more time cutting them down to 1x2s, and we get more wood for your money. So isn't that what it's all about? More wood for your money. But we're gonna be using my table saw, which I happen to use every day, and we'll be using a chop saw, which I use every day. If you don't have these things, you can use a hand saw, or you can go to your dad's house and borrow his tools. Let's get going. What we're doing here first, every room's gonna have a baseboard, unless you have a house that has no baseboards, which that would be cool because you wouldn't have to go through this. But we're doing this wall before we get a tiled floor in. So what we're doing is we're establishing the height of our baseboard, which is gonna be a 1x4. The tile has not been set yet. So what you need to do, measure, if you're in this predicament, you wanna measure how thick your tile is. It's about 1/4 of an inch, hair over. And you figure the mastic, which they put down here on the ground, is probably gonna be another 1/4 of an inch. So you need to figure just a hair over 1/2 an inch to set your baseboard off of this concrete. So when they set the tiles can go just a hair underneath. There's a lot of hairs there, but just a hair underneath the baseboard that you set. Because once you set this baseboard, bam, then you can start running your vertical boards, which you'll watch us do. And it makes everything easier from a starting point because we're gonna start doing our sideboards out here also, which we'll get to. Alrighty.
So after 3 hours in this small cottage, we are slightly underway now, but we had to pretty much learn how to remeasure everything. We are not doing it as a professional job. We are regular citizens. We are using pencil, pretty much just eyeing it and seeing where it's going to need to be cut so it fits in the proper locations. If you notice behind me, we've been using blue tape everywhere for our design, but then you can't really see it anymore because we've cut it off, but I've been pretty much using the pencil to mark out where our measurements are going to be.
I got a knife.
Okay, we'll do it later.
Take that tape off.
Don't forget to take the tape off.
Welcome to the prep party. Here you'll see Chloe using a wood putty. This particular one dries super fast and sands super easy. Then over to cutting any of the blue tape that we left behind. Oops. Yep, and here's some super fast dry caulk that we're putting in to make the job go just a little bit faster.
It's paint time.
Yes, we are actually ready to paint, but right before paint, we need to prime this bare wood that's behind us.
So what if you are wanting to paint this lovely accent wall, but you don't really think ahead of time and you don't buy primer, you only buy your paint color?
Well, don't tell your professional painter that you've painted the wall twice. Use the first coat as a primer coat.
Real life, real people, we forgot to buy primer. This person did. We're using our color of dark blue, which is perfectly fine as one primer, and we might have to paint 3 times, but it'll look beautiful.
So you guys get on out of here so we can go get this paint done.
All right, so we have waited a couple of days since we did this one.
Yep.
But the reason we wanted to wait was because we wanted to have the final touches of some lights on the wall, which will kind of pretty much help us see.
Kind of pretty much.
Yeah. Well, it'll pretty much allow us to picture and visualize a bed being in here and you have a nightstand and whatnot, right?
What we really wanted was to be able to show you the end product, the inspiration that can come from just getting out there and doing it.
It's finished, it's primed, it's painted, it's beautiful. Now it's time for us to put some furniture in it, which later on you'll be able to see the final look of everything and be able to picture it yourself in your own house maybe.
Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit the red button. Do the thumbs up because you want to see us do more of this stuff, right? Okay.
And like and comment on this video to tell us what you took from this video.
Great.
Share it with your friends.
Are you okay? Hey, hey, you showed up with us today.
Stop touching this. Stop touching it.
Well, now it's time for you to love it.
So, what we'll be using today,
Why did y'all keep the blue tape on there? Fuck. You have a knife, don't you?
Hey, Melody.
So no.
Come on. Listen, no.
Prime it. Come on. Me too. I'm with things.
Some arm seams.
Don't lift your arms up.
All right. See you later.